Hey, people, what is going on? You are now tuned into the Heavy Hitters, ATL. Let's go. Oh, man. That's a whole different vibe of song right there, man. So, it make you want to hit that shoulder right quick. Real loud, too. But what's going on, people? As you already know, this is Wednesday night, which means what? It is the Heavy Hitters Wednesday. And I am your host, the Six-Man K Styles. To the stage.
People, don't do me like that already.
And as the disappearing ghost man up here on my stage left, it is the mad scientist, Mad Mike Sports.
What's happening? What's up? Are you haters?
And in every great group, you need the calming force. You need a minister. Jew, talk, sports. Boom. Now, before we start the show, you already know we got 3 special words. What are those 3 special words, gentlemen?
The real roll call.
Bow! Y'all thought I was about to throw the U up. I like, nah, fuck. But today's roll call is gonna go to Joseph Thornton, Anthony White. We got Marlon the Falcons therapist. That's our homie. Y'all make sure y'all show him some love. John Higgins, Darnell Partridge, Bubba Gump, Raymond Elder, William Amy. You got Todrick Davis, Michael Walker, not that Michael Walker, Brian Peoples, Gabriel Lombro. We got the professor in the building, Noah. Y'all make sure y'all go show him some love and subscribe to his channel. We got Kenneth Lewis, ATL Leo, Donald Farrell. Got Red Swarm, D. Coleman, you goofy ass dude. That boy come with some crazy ass takes, boy. I tell you that much. But shout out to D. Coleman, man. That's our people. Xavier Littman, Michael, Big Ant in the building. Shouts out to AFN's Big Ant. Make sure you get that right. Bills 9F, Cole Jacket, Man Tucket. Been a while since I seen that name. Prince Kell 89, Cameron Christie, Marlon Cossey, Saint 16, Dreddy, D. Sloan, Jamarius is in the building. Hey man, we got Rodney Brown, Jordan Denny, Sick with it. Hey, Brian Peoples, that's a good idea. Maybe that's how we need to start from now on. Throw that diamond cut up and be bang. Cool and E. Roberts. So we definitely appreciate it. Hey, Brian Peoples, that's a good thought, man. I'm going to implement that in the future. So don't worry about that. So we're going to go ahead and cut it off here at 3, 2. All right, people, let's go ahead and get this show cracking, man. As you already know, it is the day after the 53-man roster announcement. As you already know, we did the show yesterday with me and Mike and LT. But we want to go ahead and let the homie, the minister, give his takes on how he felt about that 53-man roster. Floor is yours, G.
All right, man. I was chomping at the bit yesterday when they dropped the 53-man roster to talk about this. But it wasn't too many surprises on the 53-man roster. Y'all hit the nail on the head. I caught a little bit of y'all show yesterday where y'all talked about versatility is kind of what the coaching staff went with. When you look at, you guys know I was talking about the running backs where I said that room was loaded, and I figured Quadre was in trouble. I figured Caleb Huntley, those guys will probably get cut because Avery Williams is a guy that plays special teams. So personally, it wasn't too many surprises. The biggest surprise from yesterday's cuts for the 53-man roster that made the team was Landman, the linebacker. I was really shocked to see Landman make the team because I really think that had more to do with Dorian Etheridge getting injured, and he played pretty well. But I didn't see him making the roster. I thought they would keep on one of the running backs, either Quadre or Caleb Huntley. I thought it would be Quadre. So that was pretty much the only surprise cut for me, even though I thought one of them was going to get cut. Both of those guys end up getting cut yesterday. But I was really happy to see competition won out. Like we've seen Jared Bernhardt. He was a guy that we kept talking about where he basically dominated in camp, dominated in the preseason. And those guys, as far as Arthur Smith, Terry Fontenot, the coaching staff, they kept their word about competition. We've seen the guys that performed well in training camp and during preseason. Those were the guys that made the 53-man roster, the initial 53-man roster. We know that now the practice squad has been added. We know that leading up to this first game, you still can add, bring back players and stuff like that and cut down. One of the surprises for me also was Marlon Davidson. He was a guy that I didn't know if he was going to make the team because of the injuries and things of that nature. But I think they kept him on the roster because if you put him on the practice squad, another team can try to snag him. So I think that was wise for them to put him on the initial 53-man roster. But I think eventually he'll be a guy that either goes on IR or he'll be a guy that goes on the practice squad until he can come back or go on some type of, reserve, because I don't know how healthy he is with him getting that knee cleaned up and having that knee surgery or getting his knee scoped. So he's a guy that I kind of had a question mark. But other than that, I mean, for the most part, all of the guys that I thought was going to make the roster made the roster. I really like this team as far as depth. We have a lot of depth compared to the last couple seasons. At every position, there was real competition. Like this is the first season in a while where I was like, okay, this team, like you really didn't necessarily know other than the Kyle Pitts, the Drake Londons. It was a lot of competition in that wide receiver room. When they cut that, cut the roster down, the Frank Darbys, you know what I'm saying? It came down to Jared Bernhardt. It came down to the Demir Birds. But you've seen them let go of Alden Tate when they cut down to 80. So a lot of depth on this team, and I think that's going to bode well for the Atlanta Falcons this season. But that's pretty much my take on it. Like I said, you guys hit the nail on the head. They look for guys that was going to be bring that versatility. Another player that was rewarded, and I just want to throw him in really quick before I let you go ahead, Kay, is Felipe Franks. He made the roster, and he was actually listed as a tight end, which I thought was really interesting. Even though he's a guy that can do multiple things, he was another guy that really performed well in training camp, and he was rewarded with a spot on a 53-man roster. So I thought that was really cool as well. But with that being said, that's pretty much all I had. I mean, I was excited, but not too many surprises. To me, I think his first name is Nathan, if I'm not mistaken, Landman. Yeah, he's the guy I was really shocked to see make the team. But every time I see him, I don't know why. I don't know if it's the washboard that he has on the back of his neck. I always see Leighton Vander Esch from the Cowboys. Number 55, they wear the same number, that washboard. Every time I see him, I think of Leighton Vander Esch for some reason. So,
hey, anybody got that washboard on their back, them crazy.
Yeah, yeah, man. So, I mean, he was the biggest surprise to me in making the roster.
Okay. So that kind of goes into this $5 super chat from Jamal Grant. Definitely appreciate the love, man. He said during preseason, number 55, that was Nathan Landman. He said, yes, he made the team. He said, I could see him and Troy playing good together for future of our linebackers. I jump ahead of ourselves on that, but hey, it's damn good. He like you just said, he earned his spot. So damn good, proud of him. So. And he kind of, and like I said, if you kind of watch him a little bit closely, he kind of brings that Chris Draft vibe as far as how you want your linebackers in the middle, kind of like that guy that's willing to take that thump to help everybody else. So, let's go ahead and get into some Atlanta Falcons news. Not after one day, Dean Marlowe and Mike Ford gets released from the Falcons 53. What are y'all thoughts on that? Cause that was kind of like the what? What y'all think on that?
Honestly, I think they have someone else in mind that they may want to get a little bit younger.
Mm-hmm.
Someone they can kind of help prime to, for a certain level. Because I don't think, for the most part, Nathan Landman is a guy that's gonna not Landman. Why am I thinking about Landman? I guess it's you with that watch boy. He keep that keep coming up in my head. But Marlowe, I don't think he's a guy that can play special teams. And at this point, I think that's what they need at the moment is people that can not only add something to the defense with, versatility. I think that's the main thing. And the theme of this year is we're seeing that versatility is what they're looking for on both sides of the ball. You look at even the kicker, for the most part, like, Younghoe Koo is a guy that, he's an athlete. He goes out there and make tackles quite well. He's a guy that has a little bit of speed on him. And a couple of that with his kicking ability. So it's like I think it's versatility, and Dean Marlowe doesn't fit that mentality and thing for the defense and offensive defense. Mike Ford, like I said, I just think they want to get younger. Those are older guys, and I had a question earlier today about Mohamed Sanu and whether or not the Falcons wanted to bring him back. And I think the Falcons just want to let these young guys get their shine on. I think that's the focus. We can't keep putting these veteran players in front of these guys, and I think that's where the Falcons are headed.
So let me. I'm gonna throw the question out here, and then I'm gonna let you go ahead and get his take on this. Do you think that this maybe is a particular move because they may have seen some? Would this be an opportunity to bring up a Tez Tabor to the 53?
Most definitely. I definitely think so. I was surprised Tez Tabor, and that's a guy, I'm glad you brought him up. I was surprised he didn't make the 53. To me, he played well during preseason. I mean, he had interception, and you look for guys that can take the football away. I talk about this all the time. We talk about this all the time on defense, getting those timely stops. Like Tez Tabor, Alford, both of those guys to me jumped out, in preseason and training camp because they were making plays on the football. So I definitely think that this is a chance you'll see a guy like Tez Tabor, pulled up. To me, Dean Marlowe, he didn't get a lot of snaps to me, but when he did play, him or Mike Ford really didn't do a whole lot. To me, Mike Ford played a little bit better than Dean Marlowe, but I didn't see a lot out of Dean Marlowe. To me, he's a similar player to Eric Harris as far as a veteran safety, but I think both him and Eric Harris kind of play the same role. So I think that may have been the reason why they decided to go ahead and cut a Dean Marlowe. But the Mike Ford cut, I think that has more to do with they probably have their eye on somebody else, like Mike was talking about. Because we've seen them bring in some guys today, and we know that everybody had to cut down a roster. So now you can also pluck players off of other people's, other teams' practice squad. So I think that had more to do with they got their eyes on somebody with the Mike Ford cut. But I think Dean Marlowe had more to do with Tease Tabor and also had to do more with Eric Harris. I think Eric Harris is a better
Isaiah Oliver
player.
playing safety also. They got him playing safety, so
Yeah.
that might be something.
Yeah. So like I said, we got depth. I mean, let's just be real. For the first time, we can actually say that the Falcons have some depth in the last couple years. So I love competition. I love how we moving players around. And don't be surprised if you see those guys come back. If an injury or something like that happens and no other team picks these guys up, good news is these guys were in camp with us and they were in preseason with us. So if you bring the guys back, they kind of already know the system, know the scheme, and have some chemistry already. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see these guys back, especially a guy like Mike Ford and even Dean Marlowe, because we know that Eric Harris, knock on some wood, he was a guy that got injured last year. So you never know.
Okay. Hey, man, we have a $10 super chat from Dre Harris. Appreciate the love, man. Appreciate the love. He said, Franks might have more potential than we expect. This can be said for any surprise player that made it to the 53. I trust this staff a hell of a lot more than Dan Quinn and Dimitrov era. And he spelled it right because that shit was damn sure an error. Especially since 2013, this shit was an error. What did Cat Williams say? Between 2013 and 2020, you had 2 playoff seasons. Let that sink in for a second. So appreciate that love, man. So yeah, kind of piggybacking off of what y'all said, as far as I didn't really even think about it like that, as far as having an eye on someone else. I didn't think about them moving Isaiah Oliver to safety. I always thought he was kind of like the hybrid corner safety anyway. Mm-hmm. So if I'm looking at the corner room, let me see. You got AJ Terrell, Casey Hayward, Darren Hall, D. Alford, Isaiah Oliver. So you already got about 5 corners in itself now. And then safeties. Yeah, I can kind of see that, but it's kind of surprising that it would go like this, because you would have thought that maybe Marlowe and Mike Ford wouldn't have made the 53 yesterday. So I don't know if that's why I was kind of confused at the beginning. Like maybe it was something more to it or something that just happened in 24 hours. That was like, oh, wait a minute, I don't know about this. So yeah, that's all I say on that, man. Hey, man. Hey, I trust these guys, man. Shoot. We building the culture here in Atlanta for the Atlanta Falcons, and the culture is, as we said at the beginning of the segment, versatility, availability, and that's it. If you can't play in this system, your ass ain't gonna play.
I mean, to add just a little bit to that, it's they want football players at the end of the day. I know a lot of people, it's like the athlete in college. Like that's the type of guy that they want, that you can plug and play, use them as a DB, use them as a wide receiver, use them as a running back. That's what the Atlanta Falcons are bringing back. And I think that's a.
And then we forgot about Avery Williams too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
that's like I said, I think that's the type of player, because honestly, it gives the offensive coach, the play call and defensive coordinator, more things and more tools to use. Because you look at, I think a lot of people are so focused on the key players for the Atlanta Falcons, but I think the biggest thing when you look at both sides of the ball, there's two players that you have to really pay close attention to. And the second one, I don't think it does. The first one, I'm going to say, I don't think it's going to surprise anybody, but you're going to use him like a wild card. And this guy is Troy Anderson. What I saw in the preseason is a guy they're going to line up in the middle of the field, outside, and they're just going to say, all right, Troy, be an athlete. Go out there, have fun, get out the quarterback. When I need you to blitz, just make your mind, don't hesitate, get after the quarterback and knock hell out of him. That's what I think they're going to use him for. In the second year, in the off season where he understands the grind of the season, because that's something that young players, they don't understand the grind of the NFL season and how difficult it is on your body. So now he can go in the off season, get himself prepared, mentally and physically prepared for it, and then he come back. Whether it's Dion, Rashawn, Michael Walker, doesn't matter. He's ready to take one of those guys' spot. But I really believe Troy's going to be that wild card that we need for the defense and the offense side of the ball. Whether it's Felipe, Avery Williams, Cordero Patterson, the Falcons just need those guys that can plug in. And it's like, all right, I need you to play wide receiver. I need you to be a DB. I need you to be a running back. Those are the types of players that they're looking for. So it's kind of a college mindset that they're bringing to the NFL. And I think that's something that's going to make the game much more exciting for the fans. And I think I'm going to just say this too. A lot of people think that Arthur Smith isn't very creative. It's just proven like you can have a conservative offense and a play call or play style, but you can still be one of those guys that is a brilliant mind. And I think he's showing people that even though you may not like the way he called things and the offense may be quote unquote slow, but it's brilliant. It's almost like looking at Kyle Shanahan. And I know a lot of people are cringing right now saying that, but see it with Kyle Shanahan and the guys and the running backs that he just runs through, because he knows that he can put anybody in that spot because of the style of his offense, and they can produce.
Here's for all the damn running backs to Denver, all the 1,000-yard running backs the Denver Broncos had under Mike Shanahan.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not there. So it's necessarily a system thing. But I think that was some good takes on that. Let's go ahead and get into the next one as we're talking about the Atlanta 53. The practice squad was set today as well. And it's pretty much, as we've seen the list, it's pretty much everybody that all the fan favorites that done got. And it was kind of weird to me is that it seemed like we were more excited for the practice squad players than the actual 53 itself. Now, if y'all don't know who I'm talking about, like I said, Justin Schaefer, Caleb Huntley, Derek Tangelo, Jordan Brailford, Matt Hankins, Tyler Vrabel, Ryan Newsel, Frank Darby, Josh Ali, Cameron Baston, Tease Tabor, Michael Pruitt. So those are the names that were said to be on the practice squad. My idea on this is these are guys that they are grooming, and I know people were kind of upset, especially with the Frank Darby thing. I'm still trying to figure out where all this all these pitchforks and fires and stuff was coming after this. But the thing is, when I look at that list of those practice squad players, these are guys that do have potential that they don't want nobody else to touch. But the thing about it is they haven't been able to overcome everybody else that was on the 53. Like you said, Jared Bernhardt showed a lot more than what Frank Darby did. This is hence why they cut him and put him on the practice squad. Nick Kwiatkowski, he's older and he's more experienced, but Nathan Landman is a bruiser. They need a bruiser. Justin Shea is, well, for God's sake, for Lord, help me before I say this, but the outrage of Schaefer not making the team, but Jalen Mayfield was outstanding, but it just showed that Schaefer wasn't ready yet. Because we have to get out the mindset that just because these guys went to this certain school means they're already Pro Bowl caliber players. We just saw Alex Leatherwood get cut from the Raiders, and he was a top 20 pick last year. What you got, Mike?
Oh, no, I was just agreeing with you. He just got cut after 1 year. Just one freaking year.
Right. So it's not necessarily about the school you went to, but it's about if you're gonna put the work in practice, you're gonna put the work in. So how do y'all feel about how did y'all feel about this, man? Whoever wants to kick it off.
I would say as far as the practice squad, it's pretty much like I said, the guys that got cut that were like on the border. Like, to me, Caleb Huntley was a guy that could have made the roster. And to be honest, I didn't see enough of. I wanted to see a little bit more out of Avery Williams, like how they're going to use him on offense. I think that they didn't want to show their hand because of the regular season, but I wanted to see a little bit more out of him because of the style. Like, I like the way that we played that last preseason game. I like the way that Caleb Huntley is kind of a bruising back, both him and Quadri Olson. And I think, just to mark my words, I think that Caleb Huntley is probably going to get on this roster at some point in this season because of his style of running, his size, his physicality. And Arthur Smith is a coach that kind of likes to control the tempo, control the line of scrimmage. You need that bruising running back. Where in the fourth quarter, we've seen those 2 and 3 yard runs become 9 yard runs because you don't want to tackle a guy 235 pounds coming downhill, after you've been tackling all game. I'm just going to be honest with you. Mm-hmm. So I think Caleb Huntley is one of them guys that's going to be on the roster eventually. On the 53 active roster, I don't think we're going to see a lot of – I want to see more out of Avery Williams. I'll say that. I think he made it more because of the versatility side of it. Like I talked about, he's the kickoff returner, punt returner, and he's – adds that element out of the backfield. But I think that Caleb Huntley is that guy that probably will eventually, get on that 53-man roster. But everybody else you named, Schaefer, I wasn't surprised to see because they drafted him this year, and this coaching staff seems like they actually believe in development. Mm-hmm. I really think that we're going to see a lot of these guys. The same thing with Jalen Mayfield. We had the OGs on the show last week, and they basically told us, he was like, they're not going to cut Jalen Mayfield because we just drafted him last year. So you still got to develop these guys. So it wouldn't be wise. That'll be basically a waste of draft capital if we didn't bring back some of these guys that we have. But I mainly think the best thing out of all of the picks that we brought back from the practice squad is mainly chemistry. That's something that we always talk about. And that's really what's kind of been catching my eye with a lot of these big trades that I've been seeing. The Eagles getting CJ Gardner-Johnson. Those kind of moves, like right before the season, to me are kind of questionable because of the chemistry side of it. Players. Yeah, I'm glad that we brought back players that were with the team this whole training camp, because sometimes when you bring a guy in that hasn't been with the team all training camp or during the preseason, unless you know that they're going to fit your scheme, like a guy like Debo. We know for the 49ers, Debo pretty much is similar to like a Cordell Patterson, so we know he will fit our scheme. But sometimes when you just grab players and bring them in on your roster, we don't know how they're going to fit. So I really think that played a huge part in a lot of the guys that we brought back for the practice squad is the chemistry side of it. They know what these guys can do. Sometimes when you go out and get another guy, you don't know how they're going to fit in your scheme. So I think they did the right thing. For the most part, a lot of these guys are former Titans players, former Bears players, Tease Tabor, Michael Pruitt. They already know the system. You know what I'm saying? So if, God forbid, somebody gets injured, which we know during the season somebody's going to eventually get nicked, you plug in a Michael Pruitt right where you have like a Fisker that actually got nicked up during the preseason game. Mm-hmm. You know that he knows the role, and he's basically a guy who's played and started NFL games. So it's not that big of a deal where it's like, I don't know what to expect, what the drop-off's going to be. Because we've seen over the years when we had injuries and we pulled guys up from the practice squad or off the street, mm-hmm. the talent level, the drop was tremendous. And I think that was the biggest thing. But what I've seen with these practice squad guys, a lot of them are guys that we know you see what you get. Like, we know if somebody is taken off the active roster because they get injured or they get nicked for a couple of weeks, we know what these guys can do. We know that they know the system and that you can plug them right in, plug and play.
Yeah, because I was about to say, I know Bridget asked, this is Huntley's second time on the practice squad. And I kind of agree with you on this one. Like I said, at some point in this season, you may see Caleb Huntley in one of these games. Because I kind of believe what's going to end up happening with Avery Williams, they're going to move him back to corner. That's what my gut feeling is telling me. Sometimes my gut feeling ain't worth a damn, but I'm gonna stick with that. And Red Swarm here said, credit to Arthur Smith. He gave these guys a lot of PT this preseason, more than I can remember from the past regime. Gave us fans to see what great depth we had on this team. And that is the main thing that you want. That's why the preseason matters. When people tell you, why are we watching preseason game, don't matter. Preseason matters for a reason. This lets you know where your team stands in as far as a collective. Not your starting 11, not your starters on offense and defense, but you got to have a collective of guys that buy into a system, that have chemistry, that knows what each other wants to do. That even if these guys don't make the 53, you have those reserves in the practice squad. So, knock on wood, anything happens to somebody, okay, like you said, system, boom. Caleb Huntley may play this game, boom. Something may happen to one of the corners. Taz Tabor, right there. Boom. Throw him in there. So, all right, Mike, man, what you got? What you got on it?
I think for the most part, it comes down to this, man. You have to have an identity. You have to stand for something, and you have to have you got to be, an asshole about it. Like, these are the types of players that I want. I really don't care what everybody else thinks, the media thinks. And one thing I do like about Arthur, when someone, puts some stuff out about his coaching staff, the team, the players, he goes right at them. He's not afraid to go at the media. And I think, if anything, that shows to the team that your coach got your back. We saw several times in the past few years where Dan Quinn, they had some terrible calls, and he just sat there like a little damn clown, and it was just like, oh, we can't worry about them. Like, no, these refs do things on purpose because they don't respect your team. That's not the ref's job. Your job is to get the dang on call right. I don't care about him being a rookie. I don't care him being a veteran. A call is a call, and we need our coaches to come out and speak on it. We don't need our coaches coming out and saying, all right, Matt Ryan did this wrong. Julio did this wrong. And then another guy, you dead ass quiet about it. You praising everybody else instead of praising your team. This is what I like about Arthur. He knows exactly what he wants. When the media goes after their players, he stands up for them. And if a player do something stupid, he's not gonna speak on it. You know what I'm saying? He's not gonna get. So I like where the coaching staff, and I've said this before, I don't give a damn about what the players are doing this year. I want to see what the coaching staff and how they continue to improve as a squad, as a coaching staff. Because if you're gonna win, it starts with the coaching. All that player shit, we can have the best player in the universe, but if we don't have the coaching staff to put them in the right position and have the right mindset, don't matter how many players we draft. It starts with the coaching. I like where the coaching is at this point.
Boy, I swear, boy. One of these days, Arthur Smith go slap the hell out of one of these reporters. I have a feeling it's coming. He gonna slap one of these days.
Bro, they just like my thing is they be making up shit like that. Like this is why we've said time and time again, and we got all these crazy people that look at us. Oh, Mike and K Styles, AFN. They say we crazy and we always trying to pick a fight that ain't there. Well, this proves it. This is exactly what we talk about. The reason why the fans are so damn negative is because we got these writers, reporters in these high positions that writing bullshit and creating this narrative that's not there. Arthur's sick of it. These you see a lot of these players are getting sick of it. You think these players are just going off in their press conference for no reason? Like, these people are sick and tired of reading nonsense that's not true.
Hey, look, I'm about to say, I see Trevon Diggs' name pop up in the chat. I like, bro, I'd rather have Jason Webster back.
I was about to say something crazy, but I
Oh, no, I'm good on that, man. Hey, Casey Haywood is a much, much better guy we need right now. If I want a corner that's gonna get burnt, put K Styles out there on the corner right now. Last year at 330 pounds, you get all the burnt toast you want. But I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you. So, Mike, go ahead. We're gonna give the people a little intermission break. We're gonna go ahead and get the light check going on, give y'all opportunity to go ahead and share, like, comment, subscribe to not only Six Man K Styles, not only Mad Mike Sports, but Jew Talk Sports as well. As Mike is on the road to 10K, Jew is almost at the what? 2K. And I'm trying to get to the 2K as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to get those likes up. We got 186 people in here. So, hey, man, y'all got to definitely show some love to everybody up here. And show some love for yourselves. Because at the end of the day, you were blessed enough to wake up to see the next day. And y'all taking y'all time out to come watch us give our opinions and thoughts on the Atlanta Falcons, and we definitely appreciate that. And hopefully we entertain you all the way up. I was gonna make that joke. I'm like, nah, I'm gonna say that joke for another day, bro. Look, when crazy stuff gets said on here, they already be limiting ads and stuff just on stuff I say. So, nah. All right. Let's see. Read a few of these comments before we. Yeah, like, and I seen somebody say something about the Chuma Adoga pickup. Yeah, they're definitely kind of like another one of those depth picks. I mean, you still got Jermaine Ifedi there.
Ain't really much to be said about that. Like I said, just bringing on more depth. That's what, like I said, that's what this team just continue to build on is depth.
He made a point though. Like a lot of these guys are not. He's not bringing these guys that actually come in to compete. It's an evaluation type thing. So it's like if you fit what they're doing, they'll bring you in, but they're not necessarily bringing you in to be a part of the team. It's an evaluation.
Man, Bridget, this is why I call Bridget one of our residential goons here. She said, "Free Frank Darby. He free to get the fuck out of it."
Look, man.
Like I said, Frank Darby is a nice guy. He's very fun and energetic, but sometimes, bro, you gotta know how to cut it off.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. Like I said, you can't be get too smiling your way through a practice through a roster spot, bro. It didn't work this time.
Nobody cares about that. Your coaches get sick of you smiling all the damn time. He's a football guy.
Exactly. Oh, let's see. Look at this. Like both streams and watch the damn ads in the beginning too. Hey man, definitely appreciate it. Hey, it's all love, man. Let me see. Here, Bobby Boy said we could have kept Desmond Trufant if we wanted Trevon Diggs over. I second that. Like you said, 11 interceptions sounds nice, but when you watch the tape, boy, that's some of the most pedestrian ass corner play I think you'll see. Let's see, get one more in. Yeah, Red Swarm here said, I just want to see Frank put on a serious face and ball out, then he can shuck and jive all the F he wants.
That tells you everything about you, like how people think about you. Like you think you doing something good, but when it comes to football, nobody cares about that. I don't think nobody cares about any of that. I don't give a freak about you smiling and you changing who you are. Work hard, get better as a wide receiver, and you can do all the smiling or non-smiling you want. I don't give a damn. Catch the damn ball, block. Right. This is what we asked for. We got Randy Moss. You know, you have guys like Randy Moss was a complete everybody like to say Randy Moss was a asshole as far as like his press conference is concerned, his antics on the field. But a lot of that stuff went unpunished. Why? Because he caught the damn ball. If you catch the damn ball and play well, you're going to be able to do whatever the hell you want to. You can be a complete a-hole like Terrell Owens. But guess what? Everybody no, I don't like Teal. But guess what? He kept getting chance after chance after chance. Why? Because he caught the damn ball. So at the end of the day, I don't give a damn what your personality is. Catch the damn ball.
Like I said, we saw Hines Ward smiling all the time, but guess what? He caught the ball and he blindsided people.
That's it. I don't get them about nothing else. Knock hell out of somebody. Catch the damn ball. Good, return punts. Devin Hester, I didn't even know Devin Hester could talk. Outside of press conference, because all he played different positions and he played it well. One of the greatest, if not the greatest, punt return all the time. But when you see him in the press conference, he's boring as hell. He don't really say much at all. You know what I'm saying? That's what he is.
Right.
Play the game well. That's all we care about.
Right. So Let's go ahead and dive into the main event of tonight's show. I wouldn't say necessarily the main event because we already got that out the way. But here's another talking point that I kind of want to get on because we've kind of seen this the last couple of days. And Mike, you actually alluded towards it as far as talking about the differences between Arthur Smith and Dan Quinn as far as the way the media goes. I want to get this out the way. If anybody knows, it's been a lot of Arthur Smith can't hold the bags of Dan Quinn talk in the last 24 hours that's been coming up. As far as saying that he's not it after one season and he doesn't deserve a second chance and we should have got Eric Bieniemy and this is one of the worst coaches in Falcons history type talk stuff. Yeah, y'all heard that the microphone get hit by somebody. Yeah, that's about what we thought when we saw that. Like I said, that's just my face when I seen all these comments and stuff. Like, really, we're literally gonna judge this on one season. Y'all don't care about stability in the franchise, but I'm gonna let y'all go ahead and I'm gonna let y'all go and kick it off. I want Mike to go ahead and kick this one off, man. What's going on here? What's up with this? What did Hurricane say? What's up with that? If you had froze.
First of all, I want to say this. And I'm talking to everybody who think Arthur Smith is not a good coach. I want to say this. I want to make this clear. When you compare the two coaching styles, Dan Quinn had everybody who ever did anything good on his staff. He was the play caller for his own offense. He picked Dean Pease for the exact same style he learned from the very beginning. So offensively, defensively is his vision. Dan Quinn learned somebody else's defense and made it his own. You see where I'm going with this? And then he had three other guys run his defense. Just let me repeat that. He had three other guys run his defense. Richard Smith. What's the other dude name?
Marquand
Manuel and Raheem Morris. Run his defense. Just think about that for a second. Three other guys run his defense. Who running our defense? One guy. Dean Pease. We didn't change defensive coordinator. We didn't change our defensive staff. Those guys are intact. You look at the offensive side of the ball. Who was running the Atlanta Falcons offense? Kyle Shanahan, Steve Sarkisian, and Mr. Duckface. Dirk Cutter.
Former friend.
Three guys running each side of the ball. Those six coaches. Let's take a second to think about what I'm about to say, and I don't probably laid it out for you. If we got one guy who is hiring everybody and their mama to run his defense, is it really his defense? We got one guy that's still running his offense, and we still have the same offensive coordinator and Derek were gone. He's still here. So what I'm saying is you guys are praising a guy who lives and dies by other people's success. He lives and dies by other people's success. What I mean by that, you go to Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys already had a good defensive line before Dan Quinn even got there. Already had a good defensive line. Already had pieces in the secondary that he could work with. This man is starting from the absolute bottom. We had 40 players last year that was pretty much all practice squad on somebody else's practice squad last year. There's about 40 players last year. And we're comparing Dan Quinn to Arthur. What are we talking about, people? And this is my final take on my final words on it. This is the same man that watched Tom Brady for 2 quarters run up and down the damn defense, up and down the field, up and down, up and down, up and down, and didn't call one damn timeout to stop stop him. We didn't see him yell, scream, kick, throw a water ball in the air and try to do the damn Triple H. We didn't do a damn thing. I see Arthur Smith running, yelling, kicking, like going up in the player's face. I didn't see Dan Quinn doing any of that. But we up here talking about Arthur is not a good coach. Hell, we don't even know what the hell Dan Quinn was. All we saw half the time is him standing with the damn play sheet in his hand. You know the little dancers that be in them up?
Oh.
That's what the hell he was.
Flamingo!
That's what the hell he was. I need our coaches I need our coach to have some type of enthusiasm, some type of energy. We don't know what. I'm sick and tired of looking at our defensive coordinators not cussing and not fussing. You are a defensive player. You're supposed to do that type of stuff. If my superstar, a LeBron James, or Kobe Bryant, or Michael Jordan ain't yelling and fussing and showing no emotion, I don't need him on my team. I need that energy. I don't need to hear, man, we're going we didn't play very well this year. We're mad as hell, and we're gonna try to get it right next game, and come out with the same exact enthusiasm and the same exact tone and the same exact boring ass defense. Boring, the exact same game plan on offense, the exact same plan on defense. We got variety this year. Completely changed the offering from last year. So all this Dan Quinn nonsense and people talking about Dan Quinn better than Arthur Smith, for one, is ignorant, because Dan Quinn has 6 years as a head coach. This man only has 1 full year as a head coach. Give him time to really showcase what he can do.
Right. And hold on. He said Dan Quinn went 8-8 with literally the greatest collection of Falcons ever. Smith went 7-10 with Christian Blake and Mike Davis. You're right about
that. Hell are they now?
But go ahead, Jude, man. I know you want to kind of get in on this a little bit, see what you got for me.
So when it comes to both Dan Quinn and Arthur Smith, I hate debating who's better. I hate comparing. What I'll say is this: The difference between the two, we talked about this numerous times here on our show. What got Dan Quinn in trouble was his ego. One of the first things that Arthur Smith said when he got the job is, I don't have all the answers. I don't know everything. That's why I brought in Dean Pease. That's why I brought in Dave Ragone. That's why I brought in all these guys on my coaching staff to collaborate. And I really think what happened with Dan Quinn, not only was it his ego, but his game plan became stale, as Mike was talking about. That cover 3 teams caught on to it, and it just was stale. Like, if you guys remember, a lot of people forget this. Go ahead, okay.
That was not cover 3. That was the Amber Rose, Suki Hana slut walk defense. You gotta get that right. but let me get this super chat out the way before you get back into it.
Go ahead.
Dre Harrison came with another one too. He said the Gen Z fan base who have no concept of accountability in the franchise. I guess that's what he's pretty much saying as far as the conversation. So Dre, we definitely appreciate you on that, man. Thank you, man. Thank you. We got another one here too. Brian People said Dan Quinn gave up play calling on the defense played better. How about that?
Right. And that goes back to what I kind of was saying, Kay. It's like with Dan Quinn and his ego. Like, sometimes you got to step back and say, look, maybe I need to listen to somebody else. Maybe they can add a wrinkle to my defense. Maybe they can bring something to the table. And that's what I was talking about with Arthur Smith and collaborating. You know, it's huge. That's why you have a coaching staff. You know what I'm saying? Nobody knows it all. Bill Belichick, the ones that we consider the greatest coaches, a lot of these coaches had great staffs. We always talk about Bill Parcells. Well, Bill Belichick was on his staff. He taught Bill Belichick, but also Bill Belichick brought his ideas to the table. What makes the heavy hitters great? What makes AFN great? That we all collaborate and bring something to the table that's different. We all don't see everything through the same lens, but that's what makes it great when we all collaborate and bring our different ideas and look at it from a different viewpoint. And I really think that's basically what it was. Like, think about if he would have earlier on when we got Isaiah Oliver, if he would have listened to the coaching staff, Raheem Morris moved him into nickel. He probably knew he would be a better nickel than playing outside, but he may have been too afraid. How many times we say none of the players, everybody was scared to speak out. Everybody would just ho-hum. You didn't see nobody on the sideline. Like Mike talking about yelling and screaming. It wasn't just Dan Quinn. You didn't see no players on the sideline screaming and yelling. It was just like everybody was like robots. Everybody was saying the same thing. We're pissed off. Like, it was like a routine. Everybody was doing the same thing, and they couldn't be themselves. And I think that's what's huge with this team, with Arthur Smith. We're talking about Frank Darby, and we keep laughing about Frank Darby. One thing I can say about Frank Darby, you can tell that he's his complete and authentic self. I don't care if he's dancing, laughing, or whatever, smiling, you know what I'm saying, whatever. He's his complete and total self. I feel like when Dan Quinn was here as our coach, you couldn't really tell what players' personalities were because everybody was mute. Everybody was muted. Dan Quinn was basically the only voice in the locker room. And that's a problem. It's all about collaboration. It's about players being comfortable enough to be themselves. So I really think that that's the biggest thing, the difference between the two coaching staffs. Arthur Smith don't think he knows it all. He said that from day one. I don't have all the answers. I don't know everything. That's why I have my assistant coaches. When I'm doing something wrong, come tell me what I'm doing wrong or what I could do differently. Same thing with Dan Quinn. We never heard Dan Quinn ever talk about his assistants, ever give them any credit for, okay, I went to this coach. And that's what you heard Mike talk about a couple weeks ago. It was either Keanu Neal or one of the players basically stated this was not even his game plan. Why would they even have to come out in the media and say that? Because they knew Dan Quinn was taking basically all of the credit for the play calling and everything. So I feel like it's a team effort. That's what it's about. That's we talk about chemistry. It's not just with the players on the sideline, chemistry with coaching as well. Sometimes as a coach, you got to know it's okay to speak out of turn. Like, look, you need to get this right. When in Seattle, when they were in the playoffs, after they had blew that Super Bowl and they were getting ready to lose a game. I don't remember it was in the playoffs in the regular season. You seen Richard Sherman run over to the offensive coordinator like, you better run the ball. Like he was pissed off. He played defense, but he ran over to the offensive coordinator like, we better run the ball in this situation because this cost us the Super Bowl. So that's what we need to see. Is I want to see guys that's not afraid to speak out, whether it's on the coaches, whether it's a player. We need leaders, and it's not just about one person. I think that's where it got blown out of proportion with Dan Quinn. Is he took all of the credit, but then he ended up taking all of the blame in the end because he fired pretty much everybody on his staff until he had nobody else to be the scapegoat, and it all ended up firing back on him. So I really feel like with Arthur Smith, I think the leash should be a little bit longer because he's never taken all of the credit. He is the face of the franchise right now as the head coach, but everything that they talk about is a collaborative effort all the way up to him and Terry Fontenot, which we know between Dan Quinn and TD, they were never on the same page from day one. And I think that was the biggest issue that that Arthur Blank had and Rich McKay when they hired the new GM and head coach. You heard them say, whoever we hire, they're going to have to get along. They're going to have to collaborate. They're going to have to work together because they seen that TD and Dan Quinn butted heads, and that was a huge problem as well. So it went all the way up to the very top. It starts at the head and rolls down. So my biggest thing is egos. You got to be willing to listen to your coaching staff. You got to be willing to listen to others because they can bring something to the table that you might not be able to see. And that could be the difference in winning and losing games. That's what cost us the Super Bowl. He should have went to Raheem Morris. He should have went to Jeff Ulbrich and said, what should we do in this situation? Should we still continue to run this cover 3 or the Sukihana defense, or should we make the adjustments? Because in the Super Bowl, we seen what happened. They didn't make any adjustments. That was the biggest problem with the last coaching staff. We knew that at halftime, we never made adjustments. Everything was the Falcons jump out to a big lead. In the second half, we know they're going to give the big lead up because they never make adjustments at halftime. That was our biggest issue.
Let me ask everybody a question that's watching this show tonight. Why do you think the heavy hitters work so well? I want to hear everybody's answers on that. While we doing that, let's put a little waiting music. Let's put a little waiting music on there.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think the heavy hitters work so well? Don't give about another minute. See what kind of answers. I just want to see how everybody. Like I said, these questions just see how what everybody really feels about us and what they see. No phone, I didn't ask for you. Shut up.
My dad. Team effort.
Well, I had to Dan Quinn that thing. Like, no. All right.
Sit your $5 hand down before I make change.
All right. All right. All right. Let's see these answers. Let's see what everybody had to say on here, man. Let's say Melvin Emery here says because of chemistry. Jordan Dene said y'all are real fans. And of course, D. Coleman had me cracking up talking about Juice immaculate Wi-Fi connection. Champagne and Don said collaborative effort. Delilah here, she said real fans, a student of the game, been watching y'all for a while, and it's a fact. The Southside said because I listen to y'all, and that's why. Allen 808 said collaboration. DeMarcus says teamwork. Big Ant came with one. He said cohesiveness and teamwork. Gears 5 says respect each other's opinion. Brian People said y'all have different views, but y'all don't disagree or shit on y'all opinions. Definitely respect each other. D Sloan says y'all work good because y'all have different views from what each other didn't know at first, and y'all just dish out facts. Tev here said it takes a team to make the dream work. Like I said, Mucho says y'all compliment each other. Marlon here says 3 individuals who come together and share perspectives but share a common goal. Tony Wright says Dirk Cutter's still pissed off at me for getting him fired. But Marlon Malice said individualism plus teamwork and love for the Falcons. See, there's a reason why I asked this question is because this is essentially what the whole thing was about. It was about, and here's the thing. It's a misconception that everybody thinks that Mike controls. Mike is the ego, the head honcho. Nobody got no say. And he's been getting this for the last few years as far as what the conception of these shows that we do as far as heavy hitters. Like I said, of course, Mike thinks he's the best. There's nothing wrong with that. That's what you want to be. If you want to be the best at something, you strive to be the best. But at the same time, everybody said it. You got to have a team. You got to, like I said, you don't always, and this is what Arthur Smith talks about. You don't always have to be the smartest guy. You don't always have to be the most popular guy.
What does Dean Pease teach? All 11 guys doing their job.
Mm-hmm.
All 11 guys, just do your job. Stay in your gap. Do your job. Don't do somebody else's job because that's when mistakes get made. You know, when you jump out of your gap or you try to make a play, that usually is when it backfires on you. So I think Marlon's, what he said was huge. What he talked about, you know, a common goal. We talked about that off air when we were talking about the Super Bowl, and we talked about Dan Quinn, you know, not want Kyle Shanahan to get all the credit and stuff like that for having the top offense. But we win that Super Bowl, everybody gets a ring, everybody gets a trophy. Nobody cares who the coach, you know, who your assistant coaches were, who the players were. It's all one common goal. At the end of the day, the Falcons are the champions. The fans, even though we don't get a ring, when the Braves won the World Series, the fans won the World Series. You know what I'm saying? We all, you know, it's a collective. All of us as Atlanta Falcons fans, when we finally win that illustrious Super Bowl, we all gonna feel like champions on that day. Whether you put on that uniform, whether you just a fan pulling on these colors, at the end of the day, we all are striving towards that one common goal. At the end of the day, we want to see this team get a Super Bowl. Period.
Right.
I don't care who the coach is. I don't care what color the coach is. I don't care who the quarterback. I just want us to win a Super Bowl at the end of the day. I just want us to get the job done. That's it.
Right. And like you said, you had and getting back to what we said, like the end of it, like I said, it's 3. That's why in the intro you always say trio of minds, because we are 3 different yet similar personalities as far as being on the camera. Because as you already know, like I said, Mike thinks he the best. I think I'm good as Mike. But the thing is, we work together. Jew is one of the most, he's more informative on football than both of us.
This is at the end of the day, y'all teach me something new every show. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's what it's about at the end of the day. I learned
Right.
something from I learned from the fans. Like they'll be surprised.
Yeah.
We learn from them. A lot of our
Yeah.
topics, we get it from the fans, but you guys
Yo.
asking us questions. That's what we always say. It's just not about us, being live, but it's about you guys. You guys is what make AFN. You guys make Jew Talk Sports. You guys make Mad Mike Sports. Without the fans, we're just fans just like you guys. That's why I seen somebody in there say you guys are real fans. That's right. We're Atlanta Falcons fans just like you guys.
Right. So at the end of the day, when we talk about the heavy hitters, when you talk about AFN, when you're talking about the Unholy Alliance, when you talk about Feline Sports, y'all just as big of y'all, like I say, y'all are part of that conglomerate because, like I said, it's y'all teaching us something. And this is and why I'm saying this is what the culture that Arthur Smith and Terry Fontenot wants to bring to these Falcons. It's about being that individual, but it's about working together. It's not about throwing each other under the bus. It's about bringing a common goal together. I mean, if you look at like you said, you got Arthur Smith out here ready to cuss out reporters. You got Dean Pease out here ready to cuss out reporters over them talking about their damn players. How do you think coaches earn respect like that? You don't. They don't take shit from the media when it comes to their players because those are their guys.
Gotta understand it. And you gotta understand what everybody's gifts are. That's a huge thing about being a leader, being a father, being a mother. You gotta understand what that person's gifts are. I know I'm pretty good at hosting. I'm pretty good at hosting shows. I've been doing it for quite some time. Drew has hosted his own shows, all right? We know we can be good at it. But I tell people all the time, the reason why I sit back is because K-Style is the king of hosting. That's what he does. That's what he does well. That fits his personality. I'm the energy. You know what I'm saying? I can bring the energy. Every once in a while I hit some good takes, but Jew, like I said, Jew coming in and hit a home run with it. He just bring all that together with his overall knowledge of the game, and that's what we're talking about. You got to have individuals with different pieces, like what brings an offense together. You got a quarterback with a big time arm. Well, what good is it to just have guys that can go deep? You're one dimensional, so you're going to need a tight end that's great in the intermediate. You need to go back to 2016. Yeah, we had Devontae Freeman, who's good between the tackles, but guess what made that offense even more dangerous? Tevin Coleman, who can get on the outside. So these are the types of things. There's like you got three aspects of a show and three concepts of an offense. Guys like a Julio Jones, who's a deep threat. He can go in the middle of the field. You got Aldrick Robinson and Taylor Gabriel. Those guys are deep threats. And then you got the Austin Hoopers, the Levine Tololos, who can, block well. You got to have all aspects of everything so you can come together, make one whole team. And this is what the Ravens have been struggling with lately, is because they're missing one aspect of their team, a quarterback. There's no disrespect to him, Lamar, but he needs to learn how to be a quarterback and be a leader to take that team to another level. So until the Ravens learn and until Lamar Jackson learns that he needs to be a quarterback, the Ravens are going to be stuck. Doesn't matter how great your defense is, don't matter how great your offensive line and your running game is. If your quarterback doesn't understand when and when not to do certain things and when he needs to slow down, I might be going crazy as hell, yelling and screaming, and nobody hears nothing I say. But it's going to take a K-Style and Jew. All right, man, Mike, calm down. They ain't listening to your crazy ass. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to have somebody to bring that balance. All right, when to talk, when to yell, when to do this, when to win the ball. And this is why I said earlier about Dan Quinn. It was his job to say, guess what? Kyle, run the damn ball.
or
We
Matt
need to
Ryan.
keep
Somebody,
going. The game is
Matt
over.
Ryan should have went rogue. This went over there and said,
Matt
"Look, bro,
Ryan.
timeout. You don't run it back."
Wait, said Matt Ryan pulled a black and mile out his cleat like, fuck y'all, baby. I'm running the ball.
You need that, bro. You need people just go step up and you know, they gotta take charge. Everybody take charge in a certain way. All right. You got different ways to deliver a message. But at the end of the day, everybody has to be willing to do that and be willing to listen.
Mm-hmm. And like you said, and that has been and if y'all recap, I'm gonna put it in the community tab. Recap one of the heavy hitter shows we did last month when we talk about the ego of Dan Quinn. This is the reason why. And we didn't really get into Thomas Dimitrov. We really didn't get into that one. But this is one of the reasons why the Falcons had so much inconsistency since 2013. If we gonna be 100% honest, since 2013, this is why the Falcons have been inconsistent. It's not just on the players, but it's also organizationally wise. And you can't have that, man. Delilah says she hosts a gaming podcast. Hey, I'm about to say, put the link in there. I want to go ahead and check it out.
Check that out, please.
We're gonna go ahead and check that out. If you want to put the link in there or something like that, make sure everybody go ahead and check it out. If it's here on YouTube or Twitch or whatever you got, definitely gonna check that out. But yeah, man, we about to go ahead and wind it down here for the night, man. I think I just want to definitely get that out there because we have to look at the perspective of what this regime is trying to do. It's trying to get away from that narrative of the Falcons being predictable, the Falcons being soft, the Falcons being inept, the Falcons lacking toughness. We as fans, we have to look at that. We can't get mad at a regime for getting rid of players we like if the players we like don't fit. It is what it is. You either deal with it or you follow that player you were a fan of. Key word, the bad guy era is here. If you don't like it, there's 31 other teams you can be a fan of. So let's go ahead and do it right. So we definitely appreciate everybody tuning in tonight to the Heavy Hitters. Hopefully you have enjoyed tonight's show. So if you would do us a favor, go ahead and share, like this content. Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me switch it up a little bit like that. Yeah. Okay, that feels better. That feels better. I thought I'd try something new, but I don't know. This song just fits so right. I don't know why. I guess my voice. The quiet storm feel is real good.
See, I told y'all he an egotistic. I tried to tell you, everybody think I got the ego. He said it fits my voice so well. Like, come on, if that ain't the damn egotistical son.
Where the hell, bro? Where the hell you think I got it from? I know your ass ain't talking. But I think what it is at the end of the day, man, it just vibes with what we got going on, man. So, like I said,
like I said, if you appreciate this content, like I said, y'all go ahead, y'all like, comment, subscribe to Mad Mike Sports, Jew Talk Sports, 6-Man K-Styles, and be tuned for Dirty Bird Thursdays on Atlanta Falcon Nation tomorrow. So, until next time, people, we ain't here to play. We here to stay. You ain't got to go home.
But man, Mike does have an ego. I was born with this ego.
Nobody
y'all got to get the hell up out of here.
Ain't this about us? All right, people. All right, people. Deuces.